Cool. Thanks so much, everyone. Thanks for your patience because we've got so many people here. It's quite exciting. We'll take questions from the room and then go to Zoom.
All right. Just after training, after the travel back, how the guys feeling?
Okay, do you mind if I direct that to Kitsy? Because no, I'm not being funny. It seems great. The energy is good.
No, I agree. I think even those couple of 2 days of travel, off day, I think the guys came into training excited. Seeing some of the guys you haven't seen in a long time, obviously in training again. So I think it was great energy at training. And the reason why they ran so late is because there was a lot of valuable information that was coming across in the meetings, and which is great for this team and the environment and the way we actually growing as a unit.
And I imagine also you're not quite there in terms of qualification, so at the point minimum to get through to the next one, so that's good motivation.
100%. I think we spoke about it a lot, and I mean the vision of this team is to go as far as possible in the Champions Cup. So I think the motivation is 100% there. I think this team is improving every weekend. The way the players have taken control in ownership and the way we want to play and what's our actual DNA as a squad. So that's impressive, and I think that brings a lot of motivation to training.
How about you see in terms of integrating the guys who haven't played for a while now? Evan was Kate Boletta, how are they doing it? And do you have a selection area?
Oh, we do actually. And look, if anybody thinks they've got the formula for what's going on at the moment, they're wrong. It's uncharted waters, one training day after trying to integrate, as you say, new players. But I can't fault the players for the energy. I think we've done as best as we can in the circumstances. I tell you what people don't realize, this year we've had 5 Springboks unavailable through injury. And, to have Evan back, to have Hirsch back, Cade's a guy we want to bring through. So it's quite a nice sort of, it's nice. We obviously like to have had more time in the training field today, but generally, there's a really great energy, and there's so much competition with places. I mean, I think somebody wrote this week, our fly-off options, even without Marnie, you've got Cade, you've got Sasha, you've got Jean-Luc, Damien. That's extraordinary. There's everywhere there seems to be a really nice bit of depth building. I'm so happy about.
You can if you want.
Just in terms of what Clermont is going to bring on Saturday, tough gig over in France, you had it and then sort of gave it away. How do you feel this week?
Yeah, we got beaten that second half. Mike de Vries is a rugby expert. Told me there's nothing more dangerous than a French team who's just changed their coach or fired their coach. A lot of dangerous French teams. No, listen, they played really, that Leicester game, I think you watched that game properly, was a really tough game of rugby. And we had a tough time in the second half. I think this is exactly what we dreamed of. I'm not sure we've got the message across yet of what this is and what it means. It's so exciting to have we've sort of tripped into it, haven't we? Because we're playing a French, a giant, European giant, admittedly not on their best season, at home in one of very few home games, this year, to determine if we can play for a home playoff or even get through to the next round of the Champions Cup. It's a great occasion. There's so much on the play for us. If we get 4 or 5 points, we could be hosting a last 16 and potentially a quarterfinal. So I think it's a great occasion. I just want the message to get out there. This is another level, this Champions Cup, and so I just want people to come in and watch it because it's going to be special. And we've got a really good team. We're going to have a really good team out, and they, in terms of what they bring, done quite a bit of analysis on how they beat us there. I think their counter-attacking play is something that we picked up on. And if they get on top of you, those big ball carriers are mean. I mean, the French packs, Steve's played, those French packs are huge. And when they get on top of you, it's hard to get back in. So it's going to be a challenge around that.
Because you could see where we didn't put out, when the French team is pressing into the war, and these guys have lost their coach now, they're going to come with you.
Yeah, it can be pretty dangerous, but it's also for them it's new territory coming to South Africa, playing probably the first time in Cape Town as a team. So I think odds are also probably a bit in our favour, to be honest. But they are French. The French are dangerous. They've got a massive back forwards, good striking back. So it's just all about how we execute our game plan on top of them and actually stay in control of the game.
Don't you find yourselves still trying to strike the balance between the two competitions?
No, it's odd because there are different competitions, but we literally, I mean, the only way we can get through this is going selection wise. Yes, we've got to have a plan. I mean, you can't just, this is Kitsy's last game for a while and we know who's taking over and all that. But literally, we've got to go week by week because, as we were last season, every week's like a must win, those local derbies. Okay, we lost in Glasgow, so obviously the next URC game in Ulster and the Sharks away become more important. We had to win last week to stay in sort of Heineken Cup. We've got to win this week to get a claim. It's very rare. So we're literally going we're living hand. And also with the travel and that, it's 2 or 3 6-day turnarounds with one training session. So it's hard to be too strategic, beyond just trying to win this week. The only thing I can be strategic is the use of resources, watching guys' game minutes. I know we've overplayed Steven. I said it's his last game, Marvin, Damien, but they're going to go on a nice rest now.
Kitty, miskien wat ek kans vir jou is, het jy nie gevoel in die span natuurlik die reis oor die wêreld van Suid-Afrika en Europa toe. Ons het iets van die span ek sê gewoond aan kan haak en die balans tussen oefening en die wedstryd tye wat jy moet sien.
Ja, ek dink hierdie toer was grait geweest vir ons as 'n span en as 'n hoe ons werk tussen die coaching staff en die leiers in die groep. Ek dink die manier hoe ons plannetjies opgekom het, al die dinge verkeerd gegaan het in Glasgow en hoe ons veranderinge en verbeteringe gemaak het om teen London Irish te speel. So ek dink die energie in die groep is goed. Ek dink die ouens het uitgesien om mekaar te sien en teen mekaar te oefen vandag. Al die ouens het agtergebly. So ek dink dit was great energie geweest in die oefening. So ja, ek dink die travel stuff en dit vat baie uit, maar ek bedoel, ons is professioneel genoeg om na hulle self te kyk en seker te maak hulle is gemotiveerd en reg en ek dink ons te veel op die spel om nie gemotiveerd te wees vir so groot games soos hierdie naweek.
Coming back to the last coach, obviously you mentioned now that they might be dangerous and so on. When you played in the last time, you identified a few things that you went wrong. I think they lost 5 and one of the games they won. So you guys, what was it?
What we think went wrong?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we were very poor with our general kicking game and exiting at last time. I think we were poor at, because I remember it's game blurs into game. We're stopping momentum. I think Valmahina, Fritzley carried really well and we let them get on the front foot. It's another thing that it was so different, to be at 0 degrees at the start here, which is one of the most famous in the world, Stade Marcel Michelin, with that crowd on top of you. They say the crowd gets the last 10 meters, so it's going to be very different now. But I think we were really poor the way we exited. That was a big thing last time. We kicked poorly and we didn't work hard enough off the ball, and that allowed them to get on top of us with those big carriers.
Steven, you would obviously want to play every game, especially that Ulster game, probably a target. But do you feel it's kind of the body saying maybe this time for a rest? Just your words.
Yeah, of course I want to play every game. I think what this union and this club means for me is can't explain in words. So for me to represent as much as I can, especially in this season, it's important, but I also want to be fresh enough to go when it comes to playoff time. So, and then be able to have the energy to still produce and put up big performances for the best benefit of the team. So I do understand why there's a resting period and why there is protocols for guys to get recovery. So for me, it's grabbing that opportunity with both hands and actually coming back refreshed and more energy to actually take this team as far as possible.
And if I'm not mistaken, it's going to be maybe 2 weeks off after this game, or 1 week off, and the guys will be back for the 2 South African derbies. Will you lend an ear to just lend an ear to the guys and to help them prepare for that?
So I've got a 4-week complete break. So I'll be away, unfortunately. But I will maybe sit on some Zooms and
No, he doesn't know. He doesn't know. But we come back from Belfast and then we go straight to Durban. We come here first. Then we go to Durban. It's a Friday night game as well, so there's not much breathing space. No, but what he's put in, and he sits at the most cap Springbok, and he's just pulling away from France at the moment. And he's looking thoroughly, as you know yourself, he thoroughly deserves this break. And yeah, it's just been great that we get the sharp end of both competitions. Hopefully we're there. We've got Frana and Kit, back and the guys and fresh. And I think it works out quite nicely, to be honest. It's good for the national cause. It puts us under some pressure. The local derby Sharks under pressure, Bulls. It's going to be tough, but that's why we worked so hard on the depth. And I think what we saw out there, like today, with like Cades and those young props, it's good.
I was going to ask you, maybe it's a little bit more pressure on guys like Kate and as well, knowing that, okay, we are here now. We can play without the shadow of the Damien hanging over.
Yeah, it's very important that. And that's what I've actually learned. I said, I think when we started this season, we're so used to in South Africa. The first thing the coach says that I can tell you now, I already told you today, we're without 5 Springboks, or we're without, we missed Marnie, or that game, you know what I mean? But you watch that Leicester team that went there, there were 5 or 6 guys I'd never even heard of and went to play. Those Europeans very much got the mindset, this is our team. If you're playing for Clermont or you're playing for Leicester, that's our team, and that's the team. There's no excuses about who's not available, who's on England duty. And that's the mindset we have to adopt. Well, if we're trying to get through here, And I think I say to absorb the loss of, this last while, a little bit without, we had Cascaro's a Springbok, but no France. When somebody else went, Salman, some Evans been out. If you'd said to us 5 months ago, you're not going to be without Evan Rosefield for five games, people would be panicking, us as coaches. And now I think there is a understanding and that these young achievers come through great, Marcel Tunis, and we're without Nama. I mean, but you've got to be like that. It's not an excuse or a story anymore. It's just the team that runs out, the best team we've got. And I really think that's what's changed. What surprised me, I'm sorry, I'm going on a bit. Surprised me from I was worried after last season, we lose some players. We got lucky in some areas. The Bulls did a great result against Leinster, and we did. And that wasn't sustainable. But I've just watched our depth just come through of these youngsters. We've got a really exciting generation here. Sessions, Suleiman, Connor, Cade, Andre Huger. So I'm really excited, I must say.
And then just lastly, at the end of the 4 or 5 weeks, you as the coaches and the players themselves can measure them from where they were now to where they are and see if they had growth over the time that Boks were.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, they're going to get a great opportunity. I mean, both the Sharks away and Bulls away get massive local derbies, and there's some youngsters that get thrown out there. And what's actually quite nice, the way things have worked out later, is at the Curry Cup. So there are guys who we probably can't get to yet, like Leon Lyons and that, or that sort of thing. So we've still got the Curry Cup here to confirm, but I think this experience will be brilliant for them. And we're genuinely excited. I mean, but it's a bit of pressure. That Glasgow thing probably took a bit of our breathing space away in terms of the home playoffs. So we're under a little bit of pressure when it comes to those. Next week in Belfast and there's 2 big away games.
Are there any other questions?
That's last. I was going to say it's fit to play, but that would be a lie. Scarro's available. Just put it. Scarro's fit. That's great. He's in the mix. Might be another week in terms of when we select him, but he's back there. So we have coming back on strength this week. Scarra, Evan, Roos, and Herschel's great for us.
Dobbo, I don't think it's new news, but I think we're reminded this week that the South African teams are able to host, I think, round of 16 and quarterfinal fixtures in the Champions Cup. That's also going to be a big motivator for this game, getting as many. I know you only need sort of 1 point to get through to the playoffs, but you must want to finish as high as you can in this sort of table.
Dylan, you spot on. We talked about a lot this, as Steven said, it's critical that I think a last 16 back on one of these flights to an away to a top-ranked team, because we finished 7th or something, is going to be almost, it's going to be probably beyond the capabilities. Probably that's when the decision you make at that versus URC. So the home playoff for 3 reasons. One is for the, I think we've got a good chance of winning home playoffs in these conditions. Our home record is what it is. The second reason is a great revenue. I mean, there'd be 2 great occasions. And the third thing is, I think, just for the people of Cape, because we haven't got a lot of home games, and I think to us to be at the top table of European rugby hosting a tournament would be magic. So this game is a hell of it's not important from the point where you're scared of losing, but just what it can be. It makes it very, very important,
All right, guys. So we're ready to unleash Stephen now, eh? Okay, Steven, go for it.
Thanks, guys. How's it? Dobber, just to go to that thing of, the reports that South African teams have to travel for the semis. I mean, how do you feel about that if it comes down to that? I know the final is always cast in stone, but how do you feel about the semi-final thing?
No, listen, I think lots of parts have been moved and things are aligned to let us just take part in this competition. And we're still finding our feet at this thing. So to have us just be part of it, I'm honestly grateful for it. I've got no complaints. I mean, in fact, at one stage we're expecting every playoff to be away. So got the chance to play for these two now, home semi, and like we talked about this morning with Kitshoff, if we go away and we've done really well in terms of our seeding because we finished in the top 4 and hosted a home playoff, and we're fortunate enough to get into a semi. I'd back us anywhere because we in the world to have a go at that, and we'll have all our guys back. And so no issue with the venue whatsoever. Just literally grateful to be part of it.
One thing, as I understand it from what you're saying, Evan will be back. I mean, Jiva has played so well at number 8 as well that one has almost forgotten how good Evan is. But having a combination potentially of being able to restore that combination of Dion, Jiva, and Evan from last season. I mean, how big will that be for you in the way going forward?
Yeah, I think it was a great combination. So, we missed. Yeah, Jiva's done a great job. But like the people say in the cliches, he finds a different way to do what Evan does. But that's exactly what we're trying to get to, Steve. And what's quite nice for us is that they don't fall under the resting protocol like Steven and the other guys. So we've got a chance to get the band back together and play them a little bit over the next while, which is quite exciting.
And obviously, Marvin is part of the resting protocol. I mean, have you given any thought to the number 5 lock position going forward? Have you potentially got someone coming in, or is Connor grooming Connor a little bit? Is that part of the plan, or how are you going forward?
Yeah, I know we thought a lot of him. Gary Porter was exceptional in Clermont. Will be back next. He's available next week. We are looking at some sort of lock cover just because of the nature of those 3 injuries. I'm sure Mike will let you know about that with time. And we are training Connor as a caller, so I'm not too worried. I think Marvin's got 1 more week with us, but he's been exceptional. We just play 80 minutes. Yeah, I almost want to rest him now. I just got to get him across the line for 1 more so Marvin, we're very, very comfortable, and the communication with SRugby around the resting has been superb. But we have made Gary's going to be good, but Steve, I don't want to mess you guys around. We have got to possibly just looking at strengthening that resource for the rest of the season. I've got an idea around that too.
Dobber, have you, after this, you're going back to Europe again. In terms of Ulster, I mean, how do you, I know you guys probably, all the thoughts are probably with this game, but can you get out of that Ulster game? I mean, is that just about building depth, or do you think you guys, and will you have to play a really watered down team there and look at it as from an experience point of view, or?
Well, we've chosen that team already, and it's got a few changes to this week, but nothing that gives me it just excites me, like I was saying earlier, Stephen, about the depth we've got here, because it's a team that can go and do a job there. I think that the truth is, at the start of the season, we probably sent Ulster away because of what's happened in those games last year. Probably a tough one, but looking at obviously the Glasgow result may change our mindset a little bit. So we'll back the guys that we've chosen. We're not going to change the team or unrest guys because we want to go and win. But we're going there to try and get something out of the game. There's no question. We're not going there just for a tick box or to fulfill a fixture. We've got the players and the ability, and we see Ulster perhaps aren't quite the team they were last year. And we want to go for that game as much as we can next week. It won't be the same team, but if I read you the team, which I can't do now because Michael will have a fit, it's a team, like hypothetically, a team that Lustria could be Evan Roos, Willie Engelberg, I don't know, Chiva Junior. I really am speculating, but that's guys who haven't played. Chiva has played, but Evan hasn't played that much. So Good, Ruan now is not overplayed.
And sorry, just to clarify, who are all the guys that have to do the rest protocol?
Yeah, I don't know if I can list that. Yeah, it's a rugby communicator. I mean, I'm sorry, I've given you a list, but I don't want to read out a list. I think it's my, you know what I mean? But I can just tell you now from our team that Kitsy and Gaza this week are definitely resting after this week. But I think, yeah, I don't want to go because the protocol's got various tiers to it, but that's not my.
You guys are doing media this week, just out of coincidence.
Okay.
Cheers, guys. Thanks.
Thanks, Steve.
Cool. Thanks, Stephen. Oi, we've got a late hand from Mubin. So we haven't heard this question yet. It's Mubin.
Hi, Dobo. Sorry, I just want to ask you just the update on Mani as well with these protocols. How many weeks will be out for exactly?
I think he did really well with his testing, so he'll be back. He's available next week. He's obviously a guy we've also played quite a lot. No, but he's fit from next week again. So we had 3 concussions from that game. Junior, Pokamela, Paul Levette and Mani. So just the sport stuff, tough sport.
And then just for Steven, Steven, you guys obviously been 3 weeks away on tour. What's the feeling like being back? Because I mean, the festive season rugby, we saw big crowds, 30,000. So you must be looking forward to playing in front of the DHL faithful.
No, 100%. I think tour is good in a sense of for us as a team to build confidence, especially after that Glasgow loss. I think we grew a lot and a lot of internal conversations, but I think it's great for us to be back playing a bit of summer rugby, which is absolutely amazing.
Thanks, guys.
Cool. Thank you very much, everyone. Appreciate it. We'll see you Saturday.
Thank you. Bye-bye.